In this video, we'll continue adding the structure for this third building structure made out of light gauge framing. We have these columns. We've got 3 of them in a row here. And I think I'm going to raise them up so they're just below the roof assembly up here. We'll be bringing in some beams, and I think it'll be better to frame into the column as opposed to setting the beam on top of the column. So I've clicked on one of them, but before I do that, I'll show you how far up I'm going to move them. This one here, I'm making just a detail line there temporarily, and I'm going to measure here. So 1 foot 9.5 inches to the underside of the drywall. I'm going to raise it up by 1 foot 9. So I've clicked on the column. Now I'm going to right click, and I'm going to select all instances in the project. There's only 3 of these, so I'll get them all at once. And I'm adding 1 foot 9 inches to the top offset, which puts it at 7 feet 3 inches. Okay, great. And then I'll be ready to add the beams. Okay, so for the beams, I'm going to first go to Insert, Load Autodesk Family. And using the same HSS term that I had searched for before, I'm going to click on this one right here. This is the 15.0 version, and I'm going to click on Load. And I'm looking for a beam that is 12 inches high by 6 inches wide. I want it to be the same width of the column, so it frames into it really nicely. So I'm going to click here, and I'm going to look for all of them that are 12 inches, and then I'll look for all of them that are 6 inches. There's 3 of them. Let's go with this top one right here, 12 by 6 by 5/16. Click on OK. All right, now we're going to put one of them will run at the top of the column here. So I'm going to associate it with level 2.5. And I'm going to go to Structure and to Beam. And there's the new tube that I've just brought into the project. Right now, I'm not set to find, so everything is reading as one line. I changed it to find, and now I can see the thickness of the tube that I brought in as a column. I'm going to click here, and I'm going to click here. And I'm going to press enter. Now it's not going to appear because it's probably below my view range line. So what I'm going to do now is I'll go ahead and add the one that's going to be next to it. And here's the beam. Here, click in the same relative position. Same thing over here, enter, and let's take a look in my section 2 to see where maybe section 1 would be better. Okay, so it put it relative to level 2.5. That's what this one is right here, but I want this one to be up at the top here. So I'm going to raise this one, and I'll move the other one. Maybe we'll do it all at the same time. Go to section 2. There's the one, click on Control, click on the other one, and you'll notice that they're being held off of the column by ½ inch. That's fine. I would presume that has to do with, the connections that would happen between the two. All right, so what we'll do is we will move this one, start level offset. It's going to be that same 7 foot 3 inch dimension. And this one also 7 foot 3 inches. Apply. And then let's go to section 1. See how they look. And it's located at the top of the column where it should be. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to associate two of them with the lower roof and then move them up also 7 feet 3 inches. Now, the reason for that is because my pitch is the same, so it should have the same relationship here if you work through the geometry. So level 2, go to structure and beam. Again, I'm going to change my detail level to fine. Click here. Click here. Repeat. Here. Now let's look in section. And there the two beams are. They're too low. If I look in section 1, you'll see this. Right, and they too need to be raised up 7 feet 3 inches. So if I was to measure here, you'll see it's the same to this point. 7 feet 3.5. So 7.3 will be the distance that I need to move them up. So click on one, hold down Control, click on the other, and then change these values to 7 feet 3 inches for the start and the end. And of course, if you wanted to, for some reason, to slope these, that's why you would have them at different start and end positions. All right, let's double check in section 2, and there we can see. All right, so this lower one is supporting this lower roof. The upper one is supporting the upper roof. This gives me a spot to put a clear story window up at the top there. Okay, a few more things that we need to do to kind of finish up this part. One of them is my walls are now kind of floating underneath the roof, and I want to join them. So I'm going to click on a roof and attach it to the top base. Okay, so you can see that one is now joined. I'll do the same all the way around. Click on this one, attach it to the top. Now for the side walls, I need to attach them to both roofs here. And it's going to create a kind of an odd condition here. Before I do that though, I want to cut this one back. This should overhang, and so should the north and south sides, but I wouldn't have this extend into the space like this. So I'm going to cut this back so that it aligns with the face of the columns here. So I'll go up to level 2 and I'll click on that roof. And I'll edit the footprint of the roof. Okay, so this is 2 feet over. I know my columns are 6 feet. So if I was to move this from here to 1 foot 3 inches over. What did I do there? That's wrong. Control Z. Let's try that again. Move it from here. Move. You can just change it right here. 3 inches over. There we go. Check mark. Let's say don't attach for now. We're going to do this manually. Make sure it attaches to the right ones. Section 1. There we go. All right, now we'll continue with the joining of the side walls. So let's go to our, let's see here. We want to make sure we get both of them. So I'm going to go to the south elevation, click on the wall. attach top face here and here. Okay, we may have to do it in separate steps. Here, attach top face. There we go. And we'll have some cleaning up to do at some point here. This should really kind of lap over and capture that. But that will be a detail that we handle at another time. So I'm going to click on this, attach top face. This is the north side. Attach the face. There we go. All right, and that will take care of this portion of the project.